This modern quilt shines bright like a diamond. It's called Gemstones, and it is bright, brilliant, super fun, and you're going to want to stick around to see how it's made. I love the feeling when you find the perfect pattern that goes with the perfect fabric. So your first step is to purchase the Gemstones quilt pattern from fatquartershop.com. It is a PDF pattern. The fabric we're using today is called I Heart Ombre by V&Co, and it has color variants that lights up. The fabric does have ombre, which is going to really stand out in your quilt blocks. For this quilt, you need 3 1/4 yards of a solid. I'm using Bella Solid color 98, and with a quilt that has busy prints like this and lots of ombre, a white is going to look the best. You'll need 3 colorways for your diamond blocks. We've picked orange, some purples, and some pinks. From that, you're going to need 3 fat quarters of one print, 3 half yards of another print, and 3 fat quarters of another print. And we've kind of mixed. This one we have dark, medium, light. This one we have medium, dark, light. So you just kind of mix and match it. When your blocks go together, it's going to give it that movement. You'll need 5/8 yard of a binding and 3 7/8 yard of a backing. And since the front is really busy with all these colors, we put a lighter print on the backing. For this quilt pattern, you do need the half rectangle trimmer, and you can purchase that at fatquartershop.com. This is essential to be able to make the quilt. There is no template in the pattern. So I want you to go ahead and pick all your fabrics, pick bright, fun colors, and we can start sewing. So before we start, I just kind of wanted to show you, we picked these fabrics, and the fabrics up here match the blocks below, and you can see that the fabric is very forgiving because it's ombre, and you really don't have to fuss too much about where the fabric goes because it just looks really pretty when it's all put together. So I wanted to show you how when you cut these fabrics that are ombre, this is what gives your diamond that multifaceted look. So from one of the fabrics, you're going to cut 3 fabric G squares. From another fabric, you're going to cut 3 fabric G squares, 6 fabric H squares, and 3 4x6" rectangles. From your last fabric, you're going to cut 6 fabric J squares and 3 fabric K squares. Now I'm going to show you where that is in your block. These are going to be your fabric G's. This is your fabric I, your fabric K, and these are your H and J's. You will cut this from every color set. I just thought it would be really helpful for you to see how the ombre looks once you cut it. Now you'll notice that you're going to have 18 fabric B's. From 9 of them, you're going to do this step. So only on 9, you're going to draw a line from the top right to the bottom left, point to point, or corner to corner. Then you're going to take your fabric I rectangle. See these 2 points? You're going to line up this top point with this bottom point right here. Then from here, definitely pin because this is not going to stay in place very well. Then what I like to do is use the Creative Grid Seam Guide, because if you put that on the line you've already drawn and draw a line on the other sides, this gives you a 1/4 inch away from the center. So from here, you're going to stitch only on the outside lines. So once you sew the line right here, you're going to see we sewed in the red thread. On our quilt, we use color 2024. Then on that drawn line, you're going to cut, and you're going to get 2 pieces. So then from here, you're going to press according to your pattern. And just so you can see, when you put these next to each other, you're going to get 2 pieces that look identical. So from those 2 rectangles, you get 2 pieces, and they look like this once we've pressed. And here, this is where the magic happens with our ruler. Now from here, you're going to take these pieces and you're going to line up the ruler right here. And you can see we've made this really big so that when you cut, you have plenty of room. So I mean, you technically could cut up here, you could cut down here. And I like to cut 2 sides first, rotate, and cut the other 2 sides. And with this ruler, it is going to give you built-in 1/4 inch seams, which you can't really tell that they look like that yet, but when you get to your block, you're going to see that that's going to create a nice 1/4 inch seam. Now when you're done, you're going to have 6 from one colorway, 6 from another colorway, and 6 from another colorway, for a total of 18. That is going to be this piece right here. And so you want to make sure you only make that many, because if you make double, your other side is not going to look right. So you're making 18 for this side, and I'm going to show you now how to make the other side. Now we're going to work with fabric B's and our fabric K's. This time we're going to draw our line from the top left to the bottom right. Then you're going to take your fabric K rectangle, and you're going to touch the top left with the top point and the bottom right like that, just like we did on the other one. It's just angled differently. Make sure you pin, and then from there, once I have it pinned, then I'm going to draw the lines on the other side. You can just use a normal 1/4 inch seam, so you could just use a regular ruler and draw a 1/4 inch away, whichever way is good for you. Then you're going to stitch, and like I said, we stitched using red thread, but you're going to use regular white thread. Then you're going to cut here, and when you cut here, you're going to see that you get 2 of these units from each rectangle K that you start with. Then you're going to press according to your pattern, and from here you're going to do the same thing with your half rectangle ruler the opposite way. So you can see before we had our ruler this way, now we have it this way, and you're going to cut. So now you can see your printed fabric is on the left side, and again you're going to make 6 with one colorway, 6 with another, and 6 with another. That gives you 18, and that piece is going to go right here in your block, and you're making 18 blocks. Now I saved the easiest stuff for the end. You've got the hard part over with. From here, you're going to be using the same colorways. You're going to use a fabric H and a fabric J square. Put those right sides together. I'm going to pin in 2 opposing corners. I'm going to use that same Creative Grid seam guide. And this time, just draw on the other side of the ruler. This is your middle side if you also wanted to draw that. So you're doing that same thing where you have corner to corner and then 1/4 inch one way, 1/4 inch the other way. So only on your outside lines. That is going to look like this. Then once you're done, cut, and here you're also going to get 2 pieces from the original squares. From here, you're going to press according to your pattern, and we're going to trim down. So from here, I'm going to take a 4.5 inch square ruler, and you can see we made these slightly oversized. Trim 2 sides, rotate, trim the other 2, and this is what your half square triangle looks like when it is trimmed down. You're going to make 12 from one colorway set, 12 from the next colorway set, and then 12 from the other colorway set. And in your block, these pieces are going to go right here. And now we're going to be doing that same technique, just a different size. You have a fabric A and a fabric G. Put those right sides together. And I'm going to show you, if you don't have the seam guide, how to draw the lines if you don't have that ruler. It's actually easier to do it on the white fabric. Draw from corner to corner, and then draw a 1/4 inch away from that original line. Turn and do your second line. You're going to stitch on the outside lines, and it's going to look like this. From here, you'll cut on your drawn line. From each of these, you're going to get 2 half square triangles. This time we're going to trim down with the 6.5 inch square ruler. So you'll just place your ruler right on that diagonal line, cut on 2 sides, rotate, cut the other 2 sides, and you're going to make 12 from each set. I'm going to show you the look of this just so you can see. So this is one colorway, another colorway, and another colorway. And I just wanted to show you they're going to look different because your fabric G's are cut from 2 different fabrics. And that is how you get these pieces at the bottom that have a contrasting look. So now that we've made all our units, we're going to put our block together. So here are the units we just made, and we're going to build our block. At the top, Your diamond is going to go this way, and then you're going to have a left piece and a right piece, and the same thing on the bottom, a left piece and a right piece. And it's all about your fabric placement. And when you're looking at this, I think this looks funny. So I'm going to rotate this so that there is more color movement and more faceted for those diamonds. And you're just going to make sure all of your half square triangles are going the same way. And we intentionally made these two different fabrics just so you can have some fabric movement. You're going to pin and sew this into a row with a 1/4 inch seam and press according to the pattern. Sew this seam with a 1/4 inch seam, press according to pattern, and then pin those two rows together, and you're going to get this beautiful diamond block. And you can have a lot of fun using design boards and just mixing and matching your fabrics. You might want to lay out all 6 blocks of each colorway to make sure you have enough color movement before you sew them together. And you're going to be making a total of 18 blocks for this pattern. So now you can see how the quilt looks, how we put them in rows, and we did 4 on one row and 3 on another. We used white thread that matched this Bella Solid. The pantograph is called KP Gemma, and it is a really small scale geometric, and we did that to match the angles in the quilt blocks. We did choose one of the stronger colors in the block for our binding so that the binding would really stick out and kind of accentuate the edge. And here I just kind of wanted to show you how these blocks look and where they're placed in the quilt. And I think we did a really good job of doing really nice colors, and it's going to be so much fun when you pick your colors for this quilt at home. This could also make a cute college quilt because you could pick the colors of the school, and you could also make a baby blanket with really soft pastels. So there's lots of options with your colors. I hope you love the Gemstones block. It's a great way to use the half rectangle ruler, and sometimes you need a specialty ruler to get your blocks to be unique. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time, and make sure you subscribe.